Hello everyone, my name is Michael, and today I would like to do the first video in a series of regular postings dealing with questions in regards to the Constitution and different constitutional issues that are up for debate. And the question that I'd be going over today would be whether or not the president can pardon himself or herself in some future point. And before I get into that, I would like to lay out the ground rules for how I go about doing my interpretation of the Constitution. And the first of that would be to give equal weight to any of the direct wording in the Constitution, and second, to uphold any inferences that would be required to give those words their power and authority. And then if any further conflicts as far as interpretation comes about, then they would be relegated to levels of authority, and which I have in this manner. First, the people would be the ultimate authority for constitutional questions and interpretation, because they elected the representatives of the state legislatures, and then the states would have second level of authority, because the state legislatures are the ones that ratified the Constitution. And so then that would leave the federal government being last in level of authority as far as interpretive power, because it was formed by those elected by the people, and by this, and the presidency and all that was put in by the states through the people. Because the president is not elected directly by the people, but is directed by the states, and the people do a vote within the state to say which direction they want the state to vote. That's why the president is called the President of the United States. Anyway, that's a little tangent to get into answering the question. And with this interpretation, I just want to use my own interpretation as far as I can gather from the Constitution itself. I don't want to rely on judges' decisions in different court cases, because that would be relying on case law. Now, case law, that can radically change the meaning of the Constitution over time, as more and more cases are decided upon previous cases in which the judges prior may have had a wrongful interpretation. And so then you could have a cascading effect of wrongful interpretations of the Constitution continuing on in perpetuity. So with that, I'd just like to rely on the Constitution itself, and documents that come from those who originally put the Constitution together. Like, in other words, documents like the Federalist Papers would be a good one. Okay. Anyway, as in answering the question, then, can the president pardon himself? Well, before we know that, we have to read what it says on his pardoning authority. In Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1, it states that the president shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. Okay. And then, who has the impeachment authority? Well, that would be Congress. As in Article 1, Section 2, Clause 4, it reads, "The House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment." And then in Article 1, Section 3, Clause 7, "The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments." And so, like, any pardoning the president does cannot interfere with the impeachment and impeachment trying authority of Congress. And so then, who would be up for impeachment? Essentially, whoever would be up for impeachment would not be up for being pardoned. Well, I'll explain in a second. In Article 2, Section 4, Clause 1, it states, "The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors." So, in order for a person to be impeached, it's inferred that they must commit a crime. If they haven't committed a crime, it is unconstitutional to impeach that individual. Or at least to convict an impeachment. But anyway, as far as punishment for impeachment, it states in Article 1, Section 3, Clause 8, "Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than to removal from office and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law." So the person impeached has to be able to still be charged in criminal or civil court, and therefore cannot be pardoned for anything they are impeached for. And since they can't be pardoned for what they are impeached for, it is also inferred that the president cannot pardon anybody who is up for who could be up for impeachment. And in this case, according to the previous Article 2, Section 4, Clause 1, that would be any federal official. So any federal official in office cannot be pardoned. And then also, after those individuals would be out of office, any crimes that they committed while in office would also be unpardonable, because those would be impeachable offenses, and the crime must exist for impeachment to be able to occur, as far as impeaching the person and convicting them in the Senate to remove them from office and disqualify them from ever holding office again. And so to summarize, the president cannot pardon himself because he is a federal official, and well, that's the case of it. He's a federal official, and and any federal official is restricted from being pardoned, according to Article 2, Section 4, Clause 1. And well, I guess I'll just leave it at that for today. You can comment below. I'll respond to comments as much as I'm able. I apologize in advance for those who I'm not able to respond to. But anyway, I'll see you again later on my next posting. Bye bye.